desire is to serve with everything so that we can be able to each other in peace. Bless this place, God. Break.
Y'all is boycotting these people businesses and they feeling it. I'm talking about the lady was in there real life crying. Y'all is doing y'all big one.
So what if Black people are boycotting Asian businesses? If that's what it takes to wake our community up, more power to them. And I really need Asians to wake the fuck up. Because I am tired of getting on this app every business week and having to talk about some fuck shit that some Asian person is doing to Black people. There's so many other things I want to talk about on this app. Domestic violence prevention, mosquito brains, because that's what I got my PhD in. My writing process and how I write sci-fi novels and how I write, yes, the small business that I run because I write those sci-fi novels. But instead, no, I always see some Asian doing some model minority stuff and then I feel a moral imperative to talk about it because it ends up in the death of innocent people like Cyrus Carmack-Belton. I am sick of watching our country slide into fascism and watch the Asian vote be split because so many of us want to ally ourselves with our oppressors. And in my personal life, I'm tired of not being able to trust Asian people that I meet because so many of you would throw Asian people under the bus for white acceptance. And on top of that, a number of my friends are Black people, and I don't want to have anybody in my life who is unsafe for my friends. Model minority Asians are unsafe for Asians to be around as well, and they are potentially lethal for Black people. I don't want that in my community. Get that out. And if these Asian stores close, like the ones that opened up in Black neighborhoods, and then complain about Black people being there and do racist things to them and profile them, let the stores close. Y'all don't deserve to be there. Have some respect. I know Asian people love money, so Black people withholding their dollars might actually get through some of your thick skull.
I've been saying this shit for years, but as Asian Americans, anti-Blackness is fucking holding us back. I remember 6 years ago, a then Yale student, Eileen Huang, published an op-ed in which she explicitly called out our community's refusal to speak out against these systemic injustices that Black Americans have been facing in this country for centuries. And this op-ed went viral in the WeChat parent groups. Not for a damn good reason though, because the responses overwhelmingly were along the lines of, oh, your parents sacrificed so much, how could you say this against your own people? Basically framing the author as a traitor against their own community for speaking out against a very valid problem. Now, keep in mind, these people are professionals, PhDs, people who have been experts in their fields for decades, yet at the same time, not being able to hold two truths at once and immediately getting defensive. You can speak out against the anti-Asian racism and violence that people have faced in our community for centuries, while also recognizing that the Asian American identity is built upon being settlers in this country, a country that's fundamentally built upon the theft of indigenous land and the exploitation of Black and brown bodies and labors since its foundation. You can be part of a community, love it, and be proud of your heritage, while also being able to criticize its flaws and wanting it to change for the better. Because being a full member of a community is not blindly defending it. That's tribalism. Being part of a community is being able to recognize and speak out against its flaws so that it can become a better community built upon love. We spend so much fucking time debating Wasian meetups or the definition of ABGs, but when it comes to the shit that actually matters in today's world, mass surveillance, police brutality, genocide, deportation that ultimately affects us as well, we are fucking nowhere to be seen. We have not shown up consistently. We have not shown up. And honestly, even we've made shit worse at times by continuing to peddle these stereotypes and continuing to buy into the model minority myth. We have so many people in this digital world with influence and with a platform, and yet we have no collective sense on how to effectively combat anti-Blackness in our community. That's fucking absurd. Because the more we talk about, oh, it's us versus them, it's red versus blue, that's where the people in power want us to be, and they have us exactly where they fucking want us to be. Because the more we talk about this shit, the further we get from recognizing that it's actually top versus bottom, from actually building class consciousness, let alone class solidarity, which is what we desperately need right now. So anyways, holy shit, but we have to do better. We have not shown up.
This boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Shit not the same no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed. Communication changed. Man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as fuck. Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino. Those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just gonna affect one group of Asians. It's gonna affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Absolutely. It could make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It could make younger Asians start stepping up in a way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians? The question should be, what if this boycott wakes us the fuck up?
You know why? Because I never shopped with them motherfuckers anyway. They were racist to me when I worked for Chase Bank. Asian people hated blacks. I've been discriminated against here in Norman. The little Asian lady lived next door to me. She was selling parking spots, parking people behind my house because we had a duplex, and she was getting paid for it because we lived by the OU Stadium. So people will pay to park in your yard if they can walk to the stadium from your yard. But she was getting paid for spots behind my apartment. So I went over and asked, I said, how are you parking people in my yard and getting paid and not giving me part of the money? Well, the next week, she blocked it off where they couldn't park behind my house. Anyway, she didn't want me to make no money, so there's that. I've been cursed out over the phone, talked crazy too by them, because they knew I was black over the phone. So, yeah, I'm not boycotting because I never liked Chinese food anyway. I never got my nails done anyway. My nails are natural. I don't deal with them. I don't buy fake hair because I got hair. So, I ain't going to boycott them, but I'm glad y'all are, because that man should have been found guilty for killing that baby over that damn bottle of water. And I don't care what you say. They've been getting away with being racist toward us for a long time. And I feel like this, even during the pandemic, they were throwing people out over there in China. They were being racist during the pandemic too. So I hope they all go out of business. And even though I'm not boycotting, I'm on here to tell y'all go ahead and take that black dollar back. Let them see. I never did shop at Target either, so I never did have to boycott them. If you ain't never shopped with them or they ain't never got none of my money. So I'm happy for black people standing up for their right.
Honestly, go ahead and boycott the Asian businesses. We as Asian businesses could stand to learn the value of the black dollar. And yes, South Asians, I said we. We spent all of last month talking about how we're Asian too. I understand that Rick Chow and his thug-ass son are East Asian, but y'all know damn well that could have been one of y'all's parents. This is exactly what some of us mean when we say y'all need to be raising y'all's parents. That immigrant mindset of come to America, keep your head down, don't bother anyone, they won't bother you. First of all, that's outdated. That's not gonna work. You have to educate yourself on what's going on. Second of all, our parents need to understand what happened in this country, the groundwork that was laid, the work that Black Americans did to give us the rights that we have now. Third of all, you don't get to come here and say you just want to keep your head down and make an honest living and have the American dream and don't cause any waves, but at the same time, uphold anti-blackness and the disenfranchisement of Black Americans. You can't have it both ways. And before any of you want to get in my comments with some slick ass shit to say, talking about fine, okay, if they don't want to shop at our establishments, go get your own dry cleaners, go to your own restaurants, go to your own convenience stores. You are proving the point that's being made, first of all. I'm gonna tell you two things that the Black community have been trying to tell you. You just won't listen. One, Black people don't forget. Black people do not forget. So if you already said some slick ass racist ass shit, you're fucked. I'm sorry. You've already lost them. And that serves you right. Number two, Black people will treat you how you treat them. It is really that simple. And it makes perfect sense. In a country that has sought out to systemically oppress them from jump, I get that they're gonna be weary interacting with different people. They're gonna wanna understand what you think of them and how you want to treat them. Because why would they intentionally subject themselves to that kind of bullshit? But let me also tell you something. When they say social media is the loudest minority, that shit's so real. You can have every single Black person on TikTok come on here and say, I am no longer supporting insert Asian business. And you know what? They could genuinely mean that and they will never set foot in your door. But most people are not on TikTok. You are still going to have Black patrons coming to your establishments, giving you a chance, being open. This is your chance to prove you are exactly who you claim to be. Treat them with some respect, make them feel welcome and invited, and don't fucking antagonize them. Don't watch them, don't hover, Don't talk down to them when they're coming in ready to spend their own money at your establishment. Don't follow them around the store. And for fuck's sake, don't chase little children out of your store just to shoot them in the back in self-defense. Bitch, fuck you. And to Rick Chow and your thug-ass son? Mm-hmm.
Gonna be your enemy. I understand you guys are upset and you want to boycott Asian-run businesses. Totally fair. I do acknowledge that many Asian people could be racist. And I condemn all races, regardless their ethnicities. Racism should not be accepted or tolerated. But not all of us are racist. I don't think I'm racist. I mean, I try not to be. I don't think I'm racist. I'm just Asian. I don't think it's fair that we all are punished because of one guy. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is Rick Chow is. Why are we all punished because of this one guy? But don't call all Asian people our enemy.
White people join this conversation. And by conversation, I mean the conversation that my community and the Black community are having right now in regards to what happened to Cyrus and how Cyrus was murdered by someone in my community. And I just want to say, I am happy that y'all are on the right side of history because great. But also, I am not willing to let y'all join this conversation and do what y'all did during the Stop Asian Hate thing. Because the truth of the matter is, what happened during Stop Asian Hate was that the majority of the people who were harming my community were white people. And y'all chose to scapegoat the Black people. Y'all did. And created tension between my community and the Black community. And now you're hopping on to this conversation, this issue that your community created, by the way. Your community created this fucking system. And you have the nerve to come into this conversation and try to scapegoat Asian people, try to make it seem like it's all of us who harm. When the reality is the majority of the people in your community are genocidal maniacs. The fuck out of this conversation.
So today is a day of reckoning. A day of reckoning within the Asian American community. To recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-Blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-Blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our Black and brown brothers and sisters.
So I've been seeing this online. I've been meaning to address it. And there's been certain Asian people on here. And I know that they do not represent the entire Asian community when I say this. So anyone in the Asian community that's been following what I'm saying, that supports what I'm saying, that supports rights and freedom and just, you know, good vibes for all, this ain't aimed at y'all. So hopefully y'all don't take offense to this. But for those in the Asian community that are going after the Black community, y'all need to stop. Okay? Y'all need to stop showing out for crackers, because they are not y'all's friends. Last time I checked, crackers are the only people that have ever dropped an atomic bomb on Japan. They're the only people that have dropped Agent Orange on Vietnam. They're the only people that did the My Lai massacre. And that's just off the top of my head. So white people are not y'all's friends. They have never been. Crackers have never been y'all's friends. But the Black community has had y'all's backs. Like, any rights y'all have is because of the rights that Black America fought for. So y'all need to really recalibrate who's on your side, who's had y'all's backs, and who's y'all's enemies. Because white people are not y'all's friends. They never have been. And unless something major changes with white culture, they're going to keep going and do the same shit they've always been doing. And y'all going to be catching the brunt end of it just along with everyone else that isn't them. So, just let y'all know.
A racist Asian man shot a 14-year-old in the back over a bottle of water and called it self-defense. Cyrus Carmack-Belton didn't make it home that day. He was chased out of a store sitting in a black neighborhood built on black spending, surviving on black dollars, and he was shot in the back while running away. And the brother should make every single person watching this uncomfortable. Nobody was surprised because black people have been getting followed, profiled, talked down to, and disrespected in these same stores for decades. The outrage didn't start with Cyrus. It just finally had a name. Now, I want you to hold on to something in your mind before we go any further. There is a mother somewhere who sent her son out into the world the way black mothers do, with love packed into every word, with warnings sewn into the lining of everything she said, and he did not come back. Not because of a war, not because of some random catastrophe, because a store owner decided that a bottle of water was worth more than his life. That is Cyrus Carmack-Belton, who was 14 years old. And the black community did not grieve this one quietly. Before I go any further, I need to understand something. For generations, black neighborhoods across America have experienced a particular kind of economic irony. Redlining gutted black wealth. Urban renewal displaced black communities. Policy after policy stripped the infrastructure out of black neighborhoods and left behind vacancy, disinvestment, and need. And into that need, into those empty storefronts and underserved blocks, other communities moved in. They opened businesses, they built economic footholds, they created generational wealth. And let me be clear, that is not inherently wrong. That is what immigrant and diaspora communities do. You find the opening, you build. That is survival. That is hustle. But here's where it breaks down. When you build your livelihood inside a community, when your cash register fails because of that community spending, you do not get to treat that community like a threat. You do not get to follow people around in that store. You do not get to hoover, surveil, talk down, assume. You do not get to take the dollar and withhold the dignity. That contract was being violated for decades, quietly, consistently. And Rick Chow and his son made it loud. Now, I need to talk about something that lives underneath all of this, something that doesn't get named clearly enough. The model minority myth. This idea, this careful constructed American narrative that certain immigrant group succeed because they work hard, they stay quiet, they keep their heads down and do not cause trouble. That if you are disciplined and obedient and grateful enough, America will reward you. That your suffering is private and your advancement is proof that the system works. It sounds like a compliment. It is not a compliment. It is a leash. That what the model minority myth actually does, what it was designed to do, is create a wedge. It tells one marginalized group, you are the acceptable kind. You are the proof we use black people complain about racism. It positions Asian Americans not as fully human beings with complex histories and legitimate grievances, but as props in a political argument against black progress. And some communities abuse of that positioning, not out of malice, out of survival. Because when you are new into a new country, when you are trying to build a life, when the system is telling you that this is the path, you take the path. You keep your head down, you accumulate quietly, you don't cause waves. But here's what that posture causes. It causes solidarity. It costs the ability to see that your conditional acceptance, the kind America extends to you as long as you are useful, is not the same as belonging. It costs the recognition that the legal rights you arrived to benefit from were paid by black Americans marching, bleeding, dying, and going to prison. The Fair Housing Act, the Civil Rights Act, the dismantling of race-based immigration restrictions, none of that fell from the sky. Black Americans built that infrastructure with their bodies, with their lives. And when anti-Asian hate surged in America, when Asian elders were being attacked in the streets, who showed up? Black organizers, black community members, black voices saying, this is not acceptable. Solidarity is not a one-way transaction. And right now, some within the Asian community are saying that out loud, clearly, painfully, publicly. They are naming racial triangulation. They are calling out the way white supremacy has historically used proximity to whiteness as a tool to keep marginalized communities divided. They are telling their own elders the old formula has a body count. We need new formulas. That kind of internal reckoning is hard and it matters. But I don't want to move past Cyrus too fast, because I think we do that. We do that in these conversations. We rush toward the political analysis because the grief is too heavy to stay in. 14 years old, pew-pewed in the back, running away. Think about every 14-year-old you have ever loved. Think about what they are curious, still figuring it out, full of something unfinished. Think about what it means to be that age and to move through a world that has already decided you are suspicious, that has already decided your presence is a problem, that has already decided the math on your life doesn't add up too much. That is what the black communities carry into every corner store, into every interaction where someone's hand moves a little too quickly towards the phone, into every moment where a look lingers too long or a shadow follows too close. It is exhausting, it is dehumanizing, and it is not a metaphor. It is sometimes lethal. The boycott is the community refusing to fund its own dehumanization. That's it. That is the whole thing. No rhetoric needed. So guys, as I come to the end of this video, I want to pose a question to my black brothers and sisters. What are you going to do apart from the boycott? Because I feel the boycott is not enough. My Asian brothers and sisters, do you think it's right to take the black dollar and keep dehumanizing the owner of the black dollar? Tell me what you think in the comments, guys. This is the Diaspora View. Let's meet in the next one.